I'm too happy today. I wanna be sad. So let's watch the hollow melancholy of Bleach.
Despite not having finished it yet at the recording of this video, Bleach is one of the most evocative, expressive, and emotionally powerful stories.
Man, the panel manga art is so amazing. Bleach has awesome art.
I've ever experienced, and both the strength and range of things that it makes me feel are impactful beyond words. But the curious thing about it is that in spite of the emotions it evokes, I rarely find myself crying or even tearing up while reading it. I get very—
Yes, I understand this feeling. Bleach is a sad anime. When they go in the space, when Ichigo sees Zangetsu and there's those buildings there, that's such a melancholic place.
Hyped up and excited when it comes to big moments or theorizing, but in terms of the classically tear-jerky stuff, I don't find myself being moved, on the surface. As an easy comparison, I have totally bawled my eyes out at stretches of the other two members of the big three, but when it comes to Bleach, I've only teared up a—
Man, Naruto is so sad. One Piece is so sad too. Yeah, that's true. Every manga of the big three is sad.
couple of times.
Naruto, everybody has such a depressive flashback. Everybody's sad. Every child wants to sleep, their wrists.
And that's a bit peculiar considering how much I'm enjoying the story and how strongly it affects me. But the reason for this is far from a lack of quality when it comes to the communication of those emotions, but simply because for me personally, Bleach imparts feelings that are much more subtle and promoting of inward expression rather than outward. I often find myself experiencing a torrent of emotions and reacting, but in terms of my feelings when it comes to sadness, rather than tears, it all becomes a cavalcade of internal, wordless reflections that are difficult to express in traditional ways.
Wait, I've never thought about Bleach that way.
Bleach makes me just as emotional as many other of my strong favorites, but it does—
Yeah, I'm dumb. My head's like, yes, this one has the strongest word.
so in a way that is quiet. A gradual but inevitable melancholy and reflective sadness that fills me with contemplation and—
Man, the Ukiyoha, man, this is the saddest one.
And it
He's
is
crying in his makeup.
incredibly strong. Because as I said, I haven't even finished the story.
Yeah, he's crying.
Not even
How sad can you be when your face is eternal cry
close,
in
as
your
I'm currently
face?
just at the end of the Arrancar saga. But I doubt this specific aspect of the narrative will change, and I'm just bursting at the seams with feelings for this series. So as a result, I'm happy to say some things here conclusively despite not being done. Because Bleach is special and unique, and it does so much in such an effective way. One word that
Man, the Bleach art is so original. If you see any Bleach manga panel ever, any Bleach manga page, you know it's Bleach. If the who is this name, Taiti Kubo, if he draws anything, you know it was made by him.
consistently feels appropriate throughout the story for me is loneliness. Bleach is lonely. It feels lonely. I often half joke that one of the main themes of Bleach is that these people need therapy.
Yes, every shonen character needs therapy, man.
The ability to dissect their feelings,
Naruto and Sasuke, they need so much therapy. They need to be 20 years in therapy. 20 years inside the room talking.
understand themselves, and form and foster connections. And in all honesty, that isn't so far from the truth. While it has justifiably garnered this reputation for being this story that is so obsessed with and celebratory of classic meathead battle shonen, filled to the brim with fights that are often in and of themselves the methodology through which we can understand these characters and see how they come to comprehend themselves and communicate with each other, what I take away from Bleach most is the meaningful quiet within that storm. The moments of solemn contrast that speak just as loudly as the blood and swords and conflict and spectacle. For example, as teasing, psychopathic, and malevolent as Gin seems to—
Man, this episode, when Rukia is desperate, she has no hope anymore. And this guy just saying, oh, I can help you. And she's like, yes, finally. And he's like, no, I'm just kidding. Fuck you.
to be.
Die,
What I
bitch.
consistently found most thought-provoking and meaningful from him was a single line of stark contrast spoken to his love. I'm sorry.
But this guy's sad.
As much as Kenpachi is this unbelievable personification of the blood and thunder and passion and joy.
This guy is sad and insecure. This is one of the things that I wasn't expecting in Bleach, that Zaraki had depth in his character, that he wasn't just I'm strong and I'm gonna kill everybody. No, he was sad and insecure. And this is why he's so strong, because he's insecure. So this is something I wasn't expecting for this character.
Of battle shonen, the moments that speak to me just as loud as the rawness are the contrasting contemplation, where he states with an exhale that he doesn't want to die while fighting Neutra, that he doesn't want this to end, almost seeming to surprise himself. Or when he ponders his quote-unquote defeat to Ichigo with Yachiru, saying that he wants to get stronger by his own hand.
This character is so good. I think Zaraki is one of the top 3 best Bleach characters.
Ulquiorra's final fight is
This is the saddest one. This guy is so sad. He's like kind of sociopath, but at the same time he's sad and he talks like he has a hole inside his heart. Okay, he's a hollow, so of course he has a hole inside his chest. But if you see his image, like a emo character with tears, black tears around his eyes, and this giant hole, and he's dark, and he is like a bat at the same time. So it's a very sad character, and I have to say, this is to me, he has the best design. And Zaraki and other character that has a great design is that scientist, that mad scientist, Kurotsuchi. Yes.
Scope and imagery, but the most exceptional thing about it was his quiet realization of his heart at the end. Despite how outwardly silly Orihime can be, her most defining moment involves her silent, unheard words to Ichigo during Goodbye Halcyon days. Neutra
this episode is really, really sad.
Incredibly over the top.
When she says goodbye to Ichigo, that was so sad.
And raucous, but his last moments and reflections speak the loudest to me.
I think this is the only moment, I have to say this, sorry, but this is the only moment that I felt like I liked Inoue. Because she was just, I don't think, a lot of people think she's annoying. Yes, she is annoying, I can't deny this. But most of the time, she's just a so-so character. I didn't care about her. But in that particular moment, when she has to say goodbye to Ichigo, the guy that she loves the most, and like, yes, I'm going away, goodbye, and she kisses him. This moment, I felt so much for Inoue. That was one moment that I felt like, oh, I love this character, but it's the only moment. Most of the time, she's just annoying.
The most honest and reflective of the core of who he is. That core being a silent scream.
I like Rukia more, sorry. I like Rukia way more.
Of emptiness. And then there's Aizen, who loudly gesticulates at any given opportunity, but for whom, for me, some of the most important things are left unsaid. How he taunts
his transformation looks like a Dark Souls boss.
Others for being too far or too close to understand him, but never stops to contemplate that he has made it so no optimal distance could ever allow others to understand him, and that he doesn't seem to understand himself. Kubo just has this uncanny ability to transmit the souls and emotional wanderlust of these characters with such poignancy through the little details. And all of these moments for all of these characters indicate a hollowness within them, a strange attachment to this world despite the tumultuous nature of it, a curious fear, a bottomless hunger that will never be satiated no matter what they desire and consume. It's all indicative of a very human desolation.
And they are kind of distant too. Because the main group, they are friends, but I have the feeling that they're not so close. Like they're not intimate. I don't think they know each other's feelings so well. It feels like they're more like partners or colleagues, like someone that's helping. They're just a group, but they're not intimate. I don't have a feeling of intimacy between those characters. So it's a lonely process. I feel lonely for them too, because it feels like they just know each other, they're helping each other, but I don't feel like they're very close. I don't have that feeling. Besides Rukia and Ichigo, I think they get each other very well.
it all equates to that feeling of melancholy and loneliness to me. And the aesthetics directly feed into this as well. More than almost any other story I've seen, the visuals in Bleach are their own language running in parallel to the text that have as much meaning as it, and divulge some things exclusively before the story does. But even aside from that,
Man, I always say this. The art, the capacity of Kubo's to make a very good design is so original and unique. I think he's one of the greatest in the terms of design.
There's that somber sadness and reflection in the fleeting panels I think of.
Those black, empty landscapes and sometimes white, empty landscapes, they're so... You have that feeling of loneliness and abandonment.
As I reflect on my journey so far. Masaki protecting Ichigo in the rain, Kisuke putting out an umbrella for him, Old Man Zangetsu looking up at the sky lamenting the sacred pain it represents, the sad look looking up at the sky lamenting...
Should you place your trust in me, I won't let any rain fall on this world. Oh my god, this is
the sacred pain
really well
it represents. Written. The sad look from Ichigo to Orihime upon realizing the monster he seems to be. Just as much as being moments of immense narrative substance, these visuals evoke feelings of sorrow, longing, creeping fear, of an undefinable search for something abstract. Bleach has characters that long to self-actualize but stumble and struggle on the way to doing so, leading to immense anguish and feelings of regret, self-punishment...
Yeah, Ichigo is always suffering.
...and grief. It has characters struggling to see value...
I think it's because he puts all the heaviness of the world on his shoulders. Like, he feels like he's responsible for everything. And he kinda is. Like, he's the hero, so he's the one who can make the change. So but he feels like everything is his fault. He's always feeling like everything is his fault.
Surrounded by
so you've never seen him to be really happy.
Who very much see that value, but for one reason or another cannot communicate it. There are characters tormented by a bottomless, aspirational hunger for so much, yet who cannot be fulfilled no matter what. Those who yearn to be human and who do seem to achieve it, but who then disappear, leaving us with a sense of what could have been. God complexes.
Yes, the moment when Ukiyo understands the heart, and it's then like the very moment when he finally can understand what is a feeling, it disappears. How terrible is that?
Feel that hole.
Imagine that when we finally understand a feeling, you don't have anything anymore.
An inability to connect with others and oneself, not letting others get too close, misguided motivations with good intent. It's a story full of lost souls clutching for straws who yearn for the seemingly impossible to feel complete, and that is deeply sad to me and hits just as hard as traditional orthodox tragedy. In this sense, the biggest comparison I can make to another story here with regards to this tone is The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess, another highly subtextual work. Similar to Bleach, the emotions there don't tend to hit me like a truck, but instead turn me inward and fill every part of me with pure melancholy and a ponderous loneliness that is difficult to comprehend and define. It's a style that isn't...
It's such incredible talent to be capable to make those deep feelings inside your art. So you see the art, you observe the feelings that the author had when he made the art. So you can feel this deep melancholy and distant feeling of separation of all things, of feeling lonely. So the author feels that, and he puts that in the art. And when you watch the art or absorb it in every way possible, you feel that feeling. You transport yourself inside the author's heart. So this is so fucking amazing, because the author can put his heart there in his art, and you can be inside the author's heart for a moment. So it's like living inside other person's heart. So it's so amazing.
For everyone, but when done well, it is absolutely for me, and the power is unmistakable. Zanpakuto being reflective of characters' innermost feelings, Bankai going a step further and showing us the deepest, most honest essence of their soul. Through the very nature of its fighting system and design, Bleach is the most intimate character study possible. We know these characters in ways that almost feel violating. We see what they hide from themselves and must battle internally, and we speculate on what they must do to progress towards that seemingly unreachable happiness. And that is the crux.
And they symbolize death too. They're all death reapers. So they are dead, and I don't know if they're dead. I like, because I don't know if they're born in real world. I don't know, but they're symbolize death. They're always wearing black. It's all death. Look, I don't know how to express this, but it has such a feeling of impermanence and destruction around them.
I want to see these characters happy. I want them to be fulfilled.
No, I want them to fuck themselves and to be sad. No, I'm kidding. I like them.
At the very least, in the cases where that fulfillment would be unsavory, I want them to come to terms with their mistakes and who they are, because I think the story is such an advocate of knowing yourself, and I think so much of that characteristic unplaceable sadness stems from these characters
Man,
being—
the Rukia imprisonment is the most emotion that I felt, the most emotional state that I've been watching Bleach. I remember, because I watched this a long time ago, but when I watched this, I felt so sad. Because I didn't know anything about the story, so I was like, she can't die, please don't kill her. And I was so sad, and I was feeling those terrible emotional feelings, because I felt like this was someone that I know, you know. So that's a bad emotion. So but this is genius, because you're feeling a sad feeling, so you need to be sad because it's a sad moment.
lost within themselves or confused. But that's why the frequent epiphanies are so gratifying. Even in the moments of tragedy and death, these characters learn something about themselves and are fulfilled in one way or another. Grimjo, Neutra, Gin, Tosen, Ulquiorra. But most of all, the character I want that for most is of course Ichigo. I want him to understand himself wholly and properly come to terms with who he is to mature. This story is a reflection of Ichigo and his struggle with his purpose and identity, and what keeps me coming back the most is wanting the best for him and hoping beyond hope that he finds the peace and truth that he deserves. For him to prevail and cut his—
Man, this video is so beautiful.
his blade
I'm
through
almost crying watching this
this
video.
monotonous sadness with a silent conviction. Again, I don't know that this will happen for sure, but it all seems geared up for it, and to me would be poetic contrast in the opposite direction that would feel really fitting. But having said that, even if that does happen, it would do nothing to change my feelings on the tone and stylistics of this story. Bleach fills me with this hollow sadness that I cannot shake, and I wouldn't change that for the world.
Great panel. The moon here, and God.
Many thanks for watching.
Man, this is a great video. What an amazing video. This guy made a real great video.